Hey guys, Peyton Snakeback here again for another DVD and Blu-ray update for you guys this week. It's been about 2 weeks since my last one. Not a whole bunch when it comes to DVDs and Blu-rays, but I got 12 movies here. I got 7 Blu-rays, 5 DVDs. One of them being from the Warner Archive Collection and Screen Factory. And this month is a lot of new release movies, some good ones that are coming out this month. And I got 2 of them, which I'll be talking about in a little bit. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? So as usual, I talk about the Blu-rays and then the DVDs. So the first one here I got, this is the Screen Factory one. Now this one, I grabbed on Amazon because I'm hearing some kind of rumors that this one's going out of print, but I'm not sure if the rumor is true. And plus, I wanted to see this one for quite some time anyway, but just in case the rumor was true, I decided to grab it, and I did. I watched it, and I loved it. But it's called the Garbage Pail Kids movie here on Blu-ray. You know, this release came out like back in 2015. Yep, 2015. You know, mainly why because you know there's a lot of like Screen Factory releases that are going out of print, mainly because it's basically ones that was connected with MGM. This was an MGM title, but Screen Factory owned the rights, you know, because like there's been a number, like I said, different titles, like, you know, the Sleepaway Camp sequels. I think Dead of Winter is going to go out of print now. Monkey Shines went out of print. Maybe Frogs, that double pack with Food of the Thoughts and Frogs, and the Carrie thing, like, and there's lots of stuff. But there's some that I'm surprised it's still in print, like, you know, Town of Dread Sundown, Motel Hell. As far as I know, those titles are in print still, as far as I know. You know, this movie's pretty weird, but I actually really liked it, and you know, it's my kind of movie because I love weird movies. That's just me. It's always been my thing. But this movie is basically about this kid, and he's played by Sean Astin's actual brother, who's Mackenzie Astin. Now he's always getting bullied by these can't say they're kids because they're like at least 20, and it's like these 20-some-year-olds basically picking on a 12-year-old, which I thought was always kind of strange. But you know, but he works with this. The kid works with this old man who works at this like antique like shop, and he knocks over this dumpster one day, and the dumpster ends up bringing out the Garbage Pail Kids. And of course, they're like these superheroes, but they're these like little creaky like kids. Like there's this one character named Messy Tessie, who always has snot coming out of her nose. Like there was like this one character that always farts a lot. There's like I think there was one that always peed himself a lot. Like it's such a weird movie, but I absolutely really enjoyed this one. Of course, John Carl Belcher had something to do with this movie, and you know, he was the guy who did the Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood, and he also did he did the producer's cut of the Halloween 6, you know, The Curse of Michael Myers. I think he did the music to that one, if I'm not mistaken. And he also did Ghoulies. Really fun movie. I absolutely really enjoyed this one. Alright, the next one here I got, this is from the Warner Archive Collection. There's another movie coming out from Warner Archive soon as well. I want to get in the near future, which is the Jennifer Lopez movie Selena. I've always loved that movie. This one I've heard some good things about, and I decided to grab it because I do love the remake that John Carpenter did back in the 90s. You know, Screen Factory released that one a couple years ago. And that was actually one of the Blu-rays I got from the closing down movie stop, because like about 10 minutes from where I live, there was like a movie stop, and sadly it closed down. But I got the original, The Village of the Damned, here on Blu-ray from the Warner Archive Collection. This is actually the 1960 release. You know, this one was just as good as the remake was. And it's kind of like the same story, you know. If you guys seen the remake one, you know, it's the same story as this, but of course, you know, the effects were not as good, of course, because, you know, it's the 60s we're talking about, so they're gonna do what the best they could. But this movie is basically about. It starts out with the whole town, this little town. Starts off with like everyone in this town. They all suddenly just basically just faint or just like pass out, like out of nowhere. Like they just all of a sudden just fall on the ground, pass out, and no no one really knows why that happens. But the next day, I think it's like the very next day, everyone from the town that you know that passed out um, comes back. You know, wakes back up. But the weird thing is, all the women that's in the town are pregnant, and like even women that can't even get pregnant or can't get pregnant anymore, and they have these kids, and these kids, all these kids that these women were pregnant by, are kids that have like all this gray hair, and they do some like crazy stuff, like they could do they like change their eyes and make like bad things happen to people. And basically they only do it if someone like gets them really angry. Like I remember in the remake on the John Carpenter one, there was like a scene where they made this girl put her hand in like boiling water. I think they had that scene in this one as well. But there was some crazy stuff that happened in this movie. I really like this one, and you know there was actually a cool scene as well. Yeah, the bank scene. I know the one lady that was working at the bank. I know she played in The Witches as well. She played as a witch. I think that was like one of her last movies before she retired and passed away. Um, but really fun movie. But special feature wise, you only get a commentary, and that's pretty much it. And looks like, yeah, just a commentary. That's just about it. But if you guys haven't seen this one, definitely check this one out and let me know what you guys thought about this. Alright, I'm going to get a little bit closer. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm on to the new release ones. There's only two I got that was new release wise. But the next one here I got, this one I got to review to you guys, and I did see it in theaters. Really love this movie. And you know, even though this movie right here takes place in like a period of time where it's like probably like the 1600s. You know, I'm usually not into movies that takes place at that time, but I really dug this movie. And you know, but it was Gretel and Hansel here on Blu-ray. And I have to say, you know, I mainly kind of wanted to see it because Sophia Lillis is in this, and I've always loved her and everything that she's done so far. You know, she plays Gretel in this movie. But you know, she did, you know, of course, the It remakes. What else did she do? She did that Nancy Drew movie, which I thought was amazing. And she's doing that Netflix show right now. I forgot what it was called, like The End of the World or something. I could be totally mistaken. I don't know what that show was called, but it was something on Netflix that she was doing. But the movie, and everyone knows the story about, you know, the Gretel and Hansel, you know, the fairy tale story, you know, that was about, you know, these, a brother and sister who walks into the woods, and they discover this house that's made out of candy. But, you know, the house in this movie, you know, it's made out of wood. But they discover the house, and, you know, there's a witch inside, and the witch wants to fatten them up and cook them and eat them. That was my cousin texting, if you guys didn't hear that. But really fun movie, you know. But it was kind of like the dark version of Gretel and Hansel, like how it would really be like. But that's what I really liked about this one. Feature-wise, you get a storybook, original collection of the illustrations. Like, I guess it's like a storybook, like, feature on this thing. I didn't see the feature, so I don't know what it was exactly. But that's pretty much all you get feature-wise. But really love this movie. Highly recommend this one if you guys have not seen this. This next one right here, this one I just got done watching a few moments ago. Another movie, a must-watch. I absolutely thought this movie was amazing. I didn't get to see this one in theaters, which I believe this was actually only got a limited release, because I think it came out a couple months before the coronavirus started. But this is the movie The Lodge here on Blu-ray. I really love this movie. You know, this is probably one of my best favorite movies of 2020 by far. This movie is basically about, and it starts off with, you know, another actor in this from the It remake is in this. what's his name? Jaden Martell's in this. But this movie is basically about it starts off with Alicia Silverstone. You know, I think she like brings her kids to her father's house, or to her husband's house, and you know she's only in it for like 2 minutes because like right away she shoots herself, and you know the kids are staying with their dad now since her death, and it's like 6 months later, the kids are going to spend Christmas with their father's girlfriend's house, and they're staying at this abandoned like lodge. Like there's snow everywhere, and you know, and it's like this little hut basically. And the kids stay there, you know, and the girlfriend's taking care of them. But as the movie goes on, there's something really weird about the girl. You know, they always seen her like stay up late, like all night. Or, like it's like as if like she's sleepwalking. There's like some really weird stuff going on. You know, now I don't want to get into much detail with this movie, but there is some lot of surprising twists in this movie. But I highly recommend this one. I really love this one a whole lot. No special features on this Blu-ray, but highly recommend it. I gotta take a sip of Coke now. That's what happens when you talk too much. Alright, the next one here I got. This one I did see in theaters last year, but I didn't get it when it came out the first time. But because and you know, there's no connection to the first one, but and of course I did rewatch the first one. I rewatched it a couple weeks ago, and I actually really like that one a lot better than how I used to. And this one, the same thing, because I thought this one was okay as well, but I really like this one a lot better. This was Unfriended Dark Web here on Blu-ray. And in case you guys are wondering, you know, this is actually its own movie, so you don't have to see the first one to see this. This was basically its own thing. It doesn't even... Besides, this one has nothing to do with, like, the Laura Barnes character at all. So, I mean, this one was more like a cyberpunk, like, found footage movie. But, the movie is basically, from what I remember, it was, like, about this guy. I think he bought a computer from, I think it was, what's it called, Craigslist, and, the computer has, like, all these, like, weird videos, and it's, like, these videos of, like, people getting killed and stuff, and, the one guy, I think, like, the one guy is, like, attacking the guy online or something, like, I can't remember what it was exactly. It was, like, him, like, basically, it's, like, this virus that's going on this computer. The virus is, like, killing people or something. It's kind of hard to explain, but it was actually a really fun movie. But for features, you know, the other one didn't have any features as well. This one has alternate endings. I think there's like 3 alternate endings on this one. But I actually really like this one. You know, it's not perfect, but you know, it's actually really fun. Alright, the next one here I got. Now I know this one got a lot of bad reviews on it, but guess what? I enjoyed it. I'm sorry, but I actually really thought this one was funny. I actually thought it was cool. But this was the movie Rough Night here on Blu-ray. This is the one with Scarlett Johansson in it, Kate McKinnon, which I think it's either Kate McKinnon or Jillian Bell is going to be in the new Bill and Ted, from what I've heard. Because I know Samara Weaving is going to be in the new one as well. Speaking of which, you know, there's going to be a trailer from what I've heard in the next few weeks or something, so I'll be doing... Stay tuned for a trailer reaction to that if you guys watch my videos. But, this movie was basically about these girls, you know, they reunite, you know, after 10 years. You know, they were friends in college, and they reunited 10 years later. And it's them, like, doing all this fun stuff, and basically, like, they're going to all these parties, and I think they go to this one house, and they have this idea of calling a male stripper to have some fun, you know. Basically, they do that, and something ends up going wrong, and the stripper is, they accidentally kill the stripper, and they're trying to figure out what are they going to do if they go to the cops. They will go to jail, and they have the idea of trying to get rid of the body, and basically it's them trying to get rid of the body. I don't know. I actually thought this movie was funny. It was kind of like the one movie I have not seen in years, 9 to 5. But really loved that one. I really did enjoy this one as well. And I know it didn't do that great in the theaters and the box office. I would say give it another chance because I enjoyed it. I'm sorry, but I enjoyed it. But really fun movie. And the last one on Blu-ray I got, again, this one I know it wasn't good, but it's one of those movies where it's so bad it's good. Like, it's a bad movie, but they're pretty good. But it's Scary Movie 4 here on Blu-ray, and I've always liked the later sequels. I know 5, everyone hated that one. I enjoyed 5 because, mainly not many people like the later ones because they were like PG-13. I honestly didn't mind them being PG-13. I didn't really care one bit. But everyone knows these movies. Each movie is like spoofing a different movie. Like this one is basically spoofing, I think, the first 2 Saw movies. What was it? The Village, which I really love. The Village, The Grudge, and what was the other one? War of the Worlds. That's basically what they were spoofing. And I think they were spoofing a scene from the movie $1 Million Baby. But I don't know, I really liked all 5 of the movies. Hopefully they'll do a 6th one. Probably not, because when it comes to them, like I said, they're not many people like them now. I need a soda break before I get to the DVDs. Alright. Now on to the DVDs. Alright, so the first one on DVD that I got was, this is one I got months ago, but I finally finished all the seasons. This is actually the final season, or the complete 4th season of ZOEY 101 here on DVD. This is a burn on demand, and once again, these are actually not pressed disc. They're actually like purple on the back. And, when it comes to the show, I actually really do enjoy the show. And of course, there's like talks about them doing a reboot, which hopefully it's official, because I know because I know that the way the show ended, I know lots of people did not really like the way the show ended. I mean, it kind of ended very decent. I mean, it wasn't. I thought the way it ended, it was okay, but I mean, and it's totally understandable why they did, because everyone was getting too old, basically. And it was rumored that the show ended because I guess it was at the time when Jamie Lynn Spears got pregnant, because I think she had her first child probably around when they were still doing the show, which was back in 2008. These are episodes back in 2008. But of course, Austin Butler makes some appearance in this. But if you don't know what the show is, it was basically about a girl named Zoe Brooks, which is played by Jamie Lynn Spears, who goes to this boarding school called PCA, and it's like all the life events and all the drama that happens there, basically. But I don't know, I really like the show, and hopefully, like I said, the reboot does come and it exists, because I've always really liked the show, and I had a very fun time, rewatching some of these episodes I have not seen in years. Had a fun time with it. So that's that. Alright, the next one here I got. This movie I did mention when I did that video about talking to Jonathan Lipnicki. And I'll mention it again if you guys haven't seen the video. But, when I was talking to him, on Instagram, I mentioned this movie to him. And he was actually pretty shocked because, I think I was actually... because I think I may have been the first person to mention this movie to him. Because, I mean, it's one of those movies not many people talk about, but this one is absolutely a must-watch. But it's a movie called When Zachary Beaver Came to Town here on DVD. This is from the Echo Bridge Home Entertainment. What's his name's also in this? Cody Lindley is in this one of his earlier movies, The guy who's in, I think it was the Jay character, I think, from Hannah Montana. He also did The Haunting Hour from R.L. Stine. Now, this movie is basically about, I think it's Jonathan Lipnicki's, I think it's his father who is taking care of him while his mom's away. I think trying to get into this movie or something. And in town, what ends up happening, there's this little camper that comes into town, and it's inside it's this like fat kid basically, played by Sasha Newlinger. I think that's what his name is. His name in the movie, his name's Zachary BEAVER. And basically, the van, they're getting paid to go see him, like one of those carnival attractions. And Jonathan Lipnicki's character and Cody Lindley's character, they're like making fun of him at first, like, and then they start becoming friends with him. That's essentially though what the movie is. But I absolutely really enjoyed this movie. Highly recommend it. If you guys haven't seen it, this is a must-watch right here. Really enjoyed this one. Alright, the next one here I got. I'm surprised, as of right now, there's no Blu-ray release of these movies. Neither has the first one. I mean, hopefully maybe Screen Factory or Vinegar Syndrome will put them out at some point. But this one right here, I remember not liking a whole bunch, but rewatching it again, I like it a whole lot better, But this is The Dentist 2 here on DVD. And this is, if you guys haven't seen it, the first one I haven't seen in quite a while. But for what I remember, it was like Corbin Burnson's character who plays this insane dentist. And basically, like, killing people and, like, doing, like, weird stuff to them. Like, he's basically killing people, basically. But this movie right here is basically him, it kind of basically in a way starts off where the first one left off, like, because at the end, spoiler alert, he gets sent to the mental institution. But this is him escaping from the mental institution and, and going by a different name. And he's basically going out with this one girl, which I believe she was a victim in the first movie. But it's him, like, doing the same stuff he did in the first movie, like taking people out and all that stuff. But really fun movie. Clint Howard, Ron Howard's brother, makes an appearance in this. I don't know, but this movie was such a fun movie. Really enjoyed this one. Now, these two right here, I'm going to get rid of. These DVDs right here. This one I had for quite a while, but I just finally finished the last movie on here. I'm going to get rid of this one because I got bored with all these. But why did I get them? Because of Blumhouse. But it was the 4-movie horror collection on a DVD with... This includes The Veil, Mercy, Visions, and Mockingbird. The Veil, I can't really remember. I know that one has, what's her name? Jessica Alba's in that one. I think it was, like, her going to this, like, place where this cult happened. And, Mercy was, like, a Stephen King story. Mark Duplass is in that one. That's basically the only known actor I know that's in this one. Visions. Visions was okay, it was Isla Fisher and Jim Parsons is in this one. Joanna Cassidy's in this. Basically about I think it was Isla Fisher. She was like pregnant basically, and like she's like, I think it was like her seeing stuff and that aren't really there or something. And Mockingbird was like a found footage movie. That one I thought was okay. None of the actors in this one I don't know. Yep, that is this 4-pack here on a DVD. And the last one here I got. I kind of figured I was going to be bored with this. But I got this from the Dollar Tree months ago. But it was the Roger Corman movie, Death Race 2050. They made a number of these direct-to-video sequels. Yeah, I watched this one. It was alright. But that is it for this DVD and Blu-ray update. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.